and justice for all.
Okay, all right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. Good turnout. To start us with a roll call, Vic?
Councilman Baldry,
Here.
Councilwoman Shea. Here. Councilman Hoyt,
Here.
Councilman Woodruski.
Here.
Supervisor Dudley.
Here. All right, to open up, I would just like to reiterate what I do every year since making budgets. I take what the department heads have requested and load those into the tentative budget figure. And that is, every request we receive is as it appears on the tentative budget. So that's what we're starting with. It's a draft working copy. It's the board's responsibility to come up with a responsible fiscal plan for 2024. So here we are. And our usual MO is to go line by line. So I think we should stick with that. Sound good? Yes. Okay. Okay, right off the bat, line number 17, the town board. Personal services, I left it in that there would be no raises for town board members.
We don't have numbers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, mine's not numbered either.
We can go up to code, it might be easier for us to go through.
Okay, sure, we can
And
say
then,
vote, yeah.
just so you have the preliminary budget and the adopted budget already filled in. So if you
It's not set in stone, but okay.
No, but every other year it's been blank, so we can write into it.
Okay,
Right.
So
that's
that
what
way
I
we
know.
can make notes for ourselves what we want to do.
okay, okay.
I thought I know.
Okay. All right, so under town board, personal services, it's A1010.1. I left that as $12,000 with no increase in salary for the council people.
Did you give any council people worksheets to do on that?
Yes,
I never received one.
and you're telling me now?
No, I told you last month
Well,
and you never gave one.
okay, everyone got them, yes, everyone got worksheets.
I never got
In fact, there
one.
were extra worksheets.
Jody
for
never got
I
one.
never got one for the parks either, for
Right.
the flowers or any of that. I did not.
Did you,
But just
okay,
I
okay.
never seen anything.
I didn't last
You
year
said that
either,
there was
so-
a certain one that you didn't want anything crossed off, and then you'd make sure we all got it, and all of a sudden it's the 20th, and we never heard anything from you, and so kept things the way it was.
But
Okay. Do we want to talk about personal services for the town board?
I'm trying to think what it was.
Okay, we're fine at leaving that at 12,000?
yes, for me, I'm good.
Okay. All right, contractual expenses of 500. Year-to-date, we've spent 107. Do we want to make any adjustments there? Okay. Right, then we're looking at a total of 12,500 for the town board. For the justices put, that's what they requested, to be remunerated at $10,000 apiece. I left it as it was, but I would suggest only going up to 18,000. In 2020, we were at 14,000 for the two justices. Again, in 21, 14,000. What's the board's input on that?
So you have it as 20 now, and you want to go to 18?
Yes, they're paid 16 now.
This is what they
They're getting-
requested.
Yes, they requested $10,000.
So there's three of them? Three people?
Two.
Two.
Two judges,
Out
yes.
of that.
Two judges
Just
and
the
a clerk.
judges,
Yes.
okay, and the
Clerk got its own
clerk.
line.
That's where I'm confused, the clerk. Yeah.
That's a $2,000 raise per justice.
Huh?
So you're, you thought
It-
it would be $1,000.
A person.
16 to
Not
18, 16 to 18 would be two.
Right, 2,000.
Yeah, but
Here's where's the
one
1,000
for each judge, not 2,000 for each judge.
Yeah, 1,000 for each judge.
We're looking for 4.
They are looking for to go from $8,000 a year to $10,000 a year apiece.
Yeah, they're looking for
So
$2,000
it is
more per person for them and the clerk.
And then the clerk too. So I
Well, the
see
clerk's a
that's
different line
raised.
item.
Yeah,
Line.
still. It's in the justice.
So right now we're talking about just the justices' salaries, the 2 individual gentlemen that are serving presently. So my suggestion there would be that we go to 18 as opposed to 20. It's a $1,000 raise as opposed to a $2,000 raise.
What you were thinking behind that?
They've gone up significantly in the past few years, and there aren't raises built in for virtually anyone else.
Because last year they didn't get any raise, but the clerk got a $500 raise.
Right.
The clerk was 6,000 in 2020, and in 21, 6,000. 22, the actuals are actually built into the judges' salaries. And for 23, she was at 7,500. So there was a $1,500 raise from 21 to 23 over the course of those 2 years.
I'm sure everybody a $1,000 raise.
Huh?
Everybody gets $1,000. Would that work?
Yeah, or.
Talking clerk too?
Go from 75 to 85 for the clerk instead of 95? Their request is for 9,500, and she's presently making 7,500. I should say the position is presently budgeted
If you
at
gave everybody 1,000, so she would be 850, right?
8,500.
Yeah, and then.
And then they would be at, or the judges would be at
18.
18.
It would be back down to the 18 for the judges. And I think it's good to start, but we can come back and
That's
play.
what the board wants to do.
Okay, all right.
No 18.
Okay, we've got it in at 18. They requested nothing for equipment, contractual expense of 1,800.
Can you tell us the percentages that raise would be?
If we go with the 18 or the 20,
If you go with the 18
12.5%,
and the 8,500?
13.3%. How do their contractuals look, guys? They were budgeted for 3,300 for this year, and their actuals through August is 1,207. And the request was for 18.
Right, last year they spent 1,567, the year before that 1,300, year before that 1,200. So I think that 1,800 is fine.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, that is a total of 28,300 for the justice court, between contractual expenses and personal services.
28 what?
28,300. Okay, supervisor personal services at 9,000, and contractual expense for 1,800. Sound okay?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, for independent auditing and accounting, personal services, this is Wendy Ashley, the bookkeeper. I actually put a $500 raise in there, it's 3.1%. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's an important position. They have no problem.
Anything else? Okay.
Whatever we prepared the last time.
Okay. And then independent auditing and accounting then is at 17,000. All right, for tax collection. Personal
Contractual stays the same?
I'm sorry, what?
Or contractual stays the same?
Contractual stays at 500, yes. Yep. Tax collection. personal services, 5,000, this is, Amanda didn't submit a budget request, so we left everything as it was. So 5,000 for the tax collector salary, nothing for equipment, Amanda said was needed, and then a contractual expense of 1,525. Thoughts?
Not by me.
Okay. All right, for assessors, under personal services, Craig made no changes in his request, so he's at 19,000. The clerk's salary is at 10,900. Grievance board at 930. What is happening?
I thought I had my phone off, but I guess it's only her button. Sorry.
That's okay. And contractual expense at 1,000 for assessors, so we did put in, excuse me, for slightly more for that. We good?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Okay, for the town clerk, personal services, for the clerk's salary, 13,500. The deputy clerk services for 3,200. Nothing for equipment, and contractual expense of 1,570.
Yeah, that should be 2,500.
For contractual expense?
Yes.
Okay.
We had it up to 2, yeah. Way down again.
Councilman Lewandowski is saying that should be at 2,500, is that?
Right, last year she
There's
spent
something we,
$2,000.
I don't know what exactly I missed, I did not get to look. But if you look at my contractual, I'm at what, 2,200 this year?
You're at 2,200 right now for
Not
contractors for this year.
13 or
And then
15 something.
last year you spent 2,000. So
25?
So 2,500
Nice.
5 would be,
is where it should be.
yeah.
Thanks.
Right, okay. All right, so we moved that to 2,500 for contractual expense, the .4. So that's a total of 19,200 for the town clerk's office. Okay, move on. We budgeted the attorney for 12,000 annually. Anyone have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I would leave it.
Okay. Spoken by the attorney, okay.
This year we spent almost 15 though.
That was for other attorneys
Probably the planning board.
last year.
The planning board used an attorney, but I don't recall you guys using an outside attorney.
Last year, the bills didn't come in until January.
Bloomberg and Moorbrand.
Oh, for that, yep.
That.
And Bloomberg, yeah.
Yeah.
And Moorbrand.
Yep.
Okay, so 12,000. The attorney sitting presently says he can live with that. Does that sound good to the board?
Yeah.
Okay. Supervisor secretary again remains zeroed out. Under buildings, you left that at 3,000. This is the cleaning of the town hall, the monthly cleaning. Does the board have any thoughts on how we want to proceed for that, with that? And
That's all that covers is the cleaning.
No, it also includes the mowing and stuff like that.
Personal.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Frank. I think that's in the highway budget.
Personal services covers like Steve mowing or shoveling and stuff like that. The cleaning of the town hall is under contractual expense because she's not an employee, she's a 1099.
Very true.
And that's how we've been doing that. So if you looked at the bills for 1620.4, that's where you always find Sharon's bills under.
So what's the 3,000?
That was like mowing
Mowing,
the
shoveling.
park and shoveling and different things. That's where that always came out.
Is that good?
Yeah, that,
We've spent 1,500 through,
we,
Till August.
as of 9/31, we spent 1,700. Keep that over your hand.
Yeah, keep that
Is
right
that
at
where
3.
it's paid from them?
okay. Okay. Somebody should know that.
30,000?
That should go up to 35,000.
Because,
Because of the cost of electricity going up for the building.
Is that the only bill that comes out of?
No, building, these are all bills out of building. So a lot of stuff come out of there.
What do you have for total on that?
So, as of right now, for the 30,000, we spent 24,281. Last year at this time, we spent 26,256. But at the end, we spent $40,976. Reason why that was more is because we also have work done that we shouldn't be anticipating for
With the
next year.
contractor?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. That's why I'm saying we bring it up to 35,000 as opposed to 30,000.
to cover the cost of increased electricity, or increased
Yeah.
cost of electricity? Okay. Okay, sound good with the board? Okay, central storeroom, we've zeroed that line item out and put it in other codes for,
We've been just putting it under buildings
Under
rather than
buildings.
trying to
Right.
separate
okay.
paper.
Anytime anything shows up there, it's just a mistake.
Right. Okay. Okay, all right, moving on to special items, unallocated insurance. I'd like to increase this actually to 43,000. It's our town insurance. I've reached out to them to get a more accurate estimate and have not heard back from them. And Dave, so.
Because we're at 42,513 right now.
Right?
So I think we should bring it up to 46,000. Because last year we had at 35,710 and it was 38,355. So just looking at the trends year over year, you know, I think 46,000 is closer to where we need to be.
Okay, 46 for unallocated insurance.
Yes.
Okay, all right, municipal association dues, this is our NYMER annual dues, it's never changed, and we have noticed that it's going to stay at 800. Okay. Okay, all right, moving down to general fund appropriations, public safety, control of dogs, 3,000. Equipment, 500, and contractual expense of 2,000. And in your submission notes, you said a vet bill from 2022 is,
Yeah, that one vet bill that we were trying not to pay there ended up coming out of this year's budget, so.
okay. So 2,000? Leave it as it is?
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's like, leave it.
Okay. Okay, under code enforcement, there were no changes submitted by the code enforcement officer, so we're staying the same there. Any suggestions to do something different? Okay, contractual expense for Tom at 800, 16,480 for personal services, 17,280 for code enforcement. Okay, the registrar of vital statistics, 500 is what the request was. Going once? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. The rescue squad actually put in for a slightly reduced amount this year at 24,000?
No,
No?
they asked for 20,000 last year.
Well, they were budgeted at 26 for last year.
Right, because of the electric and internet and phone that we take out.
Okay.
You know, none of that was, it has to be all calculated into it.
So we're at 24, is that right?
Yes, that's wrong. It
That
should
was,
be,
that was the request though, but, okay.
right, because they have no idea, that's something
They don't know how
that the
much
supervisor
our
would
bill
know to
is.
put in there.
Okay.
So it should be around 30,000 if we're gonna give them 24,000. We got around 6,000 for electric, heat, and internet phone. They should.
Okay.
So first conversation is it's going from 20,000 to 24,000. I know that they reached out to me and said that a lot of prices has gone up because of inflation for medical equipment that they need. And they've also invested around $100,000 into their equipment as well in the last year. That's up to the board.
Well, they were at 26, they're requesting 24.
They were at 20, and they're requesting 24. The 6,000 was to cover electricity and everything else on their end.
On 6,000.
Do they pay that bill, Frank, or do
No,
you?
We pay that.
Then that's why you're hitting the issue,
Right.
because that 6,000 is paid out of a different account. It's not paid through them. So you wouldn't give them 6,000 because you're paying it.
Right, we pay them, we gave them just the 20,000, and then anytime NIMO came in, it went under that line item.
So the 24 still, I think, works, guys, because you're gonna pay that extra utility charge, but out of your own
Somewhere else.
utility line.
Yeah, which this is our utility line.
Right, so you
So we
see,
need to be at 30,000 if we're keeping it at 24.
but you're paying that extra 6,000
Yeah.
out of a different line.
No,
That's
well,
how
we
it
are, but
It's
we're not,
for
because
breaking it
they wanted
down.
it broke down by buildings, so
Right.
that they could tell what things were actually costing, like what the highway department was actually costing. So, like the ambulance, it goes under the same code as 4540
So when you go to pay the bill, which account code do you pay it from?
from the 4540.
Yeah, that's
For
when
some reason, we didn't do
Wendy
it that
took
way
over.
before.
When Wendy took over that, she changed it out to that.
Okay.
Right. And because trying to keep an idea of each place.
Right, my only question was, what account did you pay it from, because that makes all the difference.
Right.
So if you're paying it from that account, then 30,000 works.
Right,
But if you're
Right.
paying it from a different account over
No,
here,
No,
right.
Yeah,
right.
they got that,
No,
yeah.
we know that.
30,000.
So when you think that's enough, huh?
yeah, well, that'd be 24 plus 6.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I know.
Okay, all right, let's change to 30,000. Okay, moving on to superintendent of highways. Last year, the position was salaried at 62,000. I put in a suggestion of 64,000 for 2024. That's a 10.2% increase. What would the board like to say about that?
She put it in or he put it in?
I put it in.
Oh.
Jared, are you looking for a raise, or are you?
No, I think everybody is. You know, I mean, I only put in probably 60 hours a week, so I'm all right with that. It's about,
75 maybe.
yeah, you know, you live next door and you see it. I mean, it's pretty much in line with what the guys are getting. You know, they're getting roughly $1 an hour-ish. I'm putting for them, so yeah, I would like that as well.
Standard, 3.,
Yeah,
3% raise, I'm fine with it too. Pretty standard. I don't know, I look forward to mine.
Somebody who's
I don't want
gonna
them to
make
take it
the effort to
away.
keep our roads clean and safe.
Okay, we have a contractual expense under superintendent of highways of 500. Okay. All right, under garage, contractual expense. 12,000. We got it, leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, under street lighting, I put this in at 6,000 again. There's a possibility of being able to reduce some of the street lighting expenses if we go with different wattage on bulbs, and Jerry could address that. You know, if there's areas in town that have larger bulbs than they need, we
Jeff
can reduce the watt. He did do all
Yeah,
that. That's,
yeah.
yeah. So there's some, like, just say, some rural, Couts Hollow. If you know what I mean, if that's like super lit and you don't need it lit, I'm just throwing it out there. There's a way to,
I mean, didn't they just put all new LED bulbs
Right,
and all
they
that?
did.
All been redone, LEDs.
Right.
I think
They
all
did,
the
they
same,
did.
aren't they?
I don't know that they're all the same, I don't know that. But I do know when we went that route, they said if you ever need to reduce wattage, you can. It's an option, so it's just, you know, if you're content with the way it is and
I
happy
mean,
with
I
things are
haven't heard
good.
no complaints,
Yep.
I've seen any that stuck out weird to me, or
I'd
not.
say keep it at the $6,000.
Keep it at 6,
Actually-
okay.
I don't think they're that great to begin with.
Right, some of them are.
Right.
I don't think they're great as
Because
well
one's
as they're-
across the street and they take away from it whenever.
Okay, under veteran services, contractual expense, left it at 700.
And what's that for?
Memorial veterans, they're them for the flags.
Okay. Okay, with the programs for the aging, we received a request from the Merrymakers of $43.76, is that accurate, Kath?
Yep.
Okay, $4,376. And then we also received a letter from the senior group that runs out of the center. It's a separate senior group requesting $2,500 for their programming and the things that they did. So because it was an additional request, and again, I'm adding in what people are requesting, 2,500. I'll take that up to 6876. That letter came from Helen Petrie.
So the Merrymakers, what are they planning for next year to come up with 4376?
I have 2 bus trips, so it's the cost of the buses, the entertainment at the Christmas party, and then, you know, like postage, and then half of our meetings, we buy food out, the other half, Linda and I make food for and stuff. So that's pretty much what it is, and we have less than $2,000 in our bank account.
And then what's the Grafton Senior Club plan on doing with the money?
Yeah, I didn't see the breakdown. You said you can get it.
I do. I have the budget request sheets, but you may have heard this. I locked my keys in my office and I can't get back in there right now. But I will absolutely provide
Can
those.
you pull it up on your computer?
I can, but I don't want to.
I can't,
Yeah, I
I
don't
can't
know.
say it's okay to give someone $2,500 without even knowing what they're gonna spend it on.
Yeah. I don't want to try and do that from here without, because I have to, let me see. Let's just try.
If you budget it, there would have to be a separate resolution authorizing an expenditure to them, right? You don't just give them $2,500.
No.
No, they,
So even if you budget it,
Right.
you're still not giving them the 2,500, so you still have some control.
right.
Let's go with that. Yeah, let's go with that for now, and then I'll pull those sheets as soon as I get a locksmith.
So you're just assuming that, because we don't know what they're doing.
Right.
If we have to see, that's for like,
Not the
the
Merry.
coffee, everything they put on there.
Right.
Payment.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm not there, so I really want to
That's why we want to know what
see.
they're gonna spend it
I, no, I do too. I want
Yeah.
to see
on.
what
I
they're
don't want to pay
spending
for
on.
bus trips and
That's-
stuff.
No, it's
I
not
don't
that.
think
It's
it's-
not stuff like that.
It's entertainment, pretty much entertainment for everybody who comes.
Because the county does not offer anything. The
The county-
building is there, that's it, and they pay us employees. They
Yeah,
don't
I
write that
talked
money
to-
for nothing.
I talked to Darcy and she did say that she was hoping the insurance companies would be doing the entertainment for them as they did
Since the
before.
COVID, that has not happened.
Hmm.
None of that. They haven't made any hardly.
I wonder if
any-
anybody's asked.
Yeah. No, I think they have asked.
Yeah, because the insurance companies always paid for their entertainment and for their ice cream and ice
Vicki,
cream.
earlier we talked about 6772.4. Did you able to come up with that? That's accurate that we're paying electric bills and stuff out of there?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So that's why the expenditures to date were so much.
Right.
They have a good chunk of change in their bank account.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the hard part is they provide entertainment for anybody who comes to the center who's
Eastern District.
the Eastern District. So it's not just Grafton.
They just do the same. You don't have just Grafton people go on the Merrymakers trips. I mean, they're for open to anybody.
Yeah,
It's the
but
same
like this
thing.
bus trip
It's a private thing.
is pretty much
They're both private.
half Grafton.
Now, I'm curious,
I wanna
does
support
Petersburg,
Grafton
yeah, me
Senior
too,
Center.
I think it's good, I have lunch there once in a while. Does Petersburg and Berlin, that's part of the Eastrict, Rensselaer County, Everwager Senior Center encompasses Petersburg, Berlin, Cherry Plain, and Steventown, that's part of the Eastern District.
Right.
So, I'm just wondering, do they help Chip on some of this? Because
Not the center.
Petersburg comes, Hoosick Falls was just here, so I mean,
They had a
do
wall.
the, yeah, they did, I agree, I was over there. So do the other Eastern District towns?
Well, like Hoosick Falls having Grafton.
No, no,
open
no,
to
not
the
Hoosick
tournament.
Falls, they're their own.
Yeah, but
I'm
they're gonna have
talking-
Grafton over
No, I
in
agree.
that same tournament.
But I'm talking about the Eastern District, which is what Darcy just explained to me today.
Mhm.
Eastern District is Grafton, Petersburg, Berlin, Cherry Plain, and Steventown.
You want to know
That's-
if they're doing it all on Grafton's time.
Bingo. So is it possible that the other towns in this Eastern District, Rensselaer County Senior Center, would they be willing to maybe throw in $1,000? I mean, I wondered if anybody checked with them, or if maybe anybody sent them a letter of request. Because again, it is the Everett Wager Senior Center, Eastern District, Rensselaer County. Nobody begrudges them anything.
Right.
But it is Steventown, Cherry Plain, Berlin, Petersburg, and
I
Grafton.
mean, you got a point, I get what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
and I'm
but
not
no other
saying-
town has a place to hold the
But,
events.
I know, but that was something that I think the county investigated. I mean, how many years ago, when they built this? That was up to them to investigate, and everybody said, yeah, we love it, we're going. But I'm just wondering, does any other town in the Eastern District feel, hey, we should want to help with the entertainment?
There's like 5 towns that we chipped in $500.
I'm just wondering, and again,
So what about you guys? Do you guys offer that too with the Merrymakers? Do you ask for help?
Grafton Merrymakers has been an entity, social entity, for 42 plus years.
How many
It's-
members do
what
you have
does-
now?
I don't.
Right now, I think we have 16.
16 members right now?
Well, we had COVID. Look at the people.
Actually, we have 20, over
Yeah,
20, because when I
okay.
sent out Christmas cards, I had to buy 20 stamps. So,
Now, I come over and pick up my mother's meals once in a while. There's between 4 and 8 people, days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, at the Everett Wager Senior Center. So we just noticed yesterday, we had double the people at the Merrymakers than was here, double. So even though maybe it's 16 or 20, there's still 6 and 8.
But
you didn't
They're
answer her
25
question.
the other day.
So yes, we do usually
They have
have
money
more.
to do events, they could probably
But
have more.
my question was only this. As the Rensselaer County Everett Wager Senior Center, Eastern District, is it possible that this board maybe communicate with Steventown, Cherry Plain, Berlin, and Petersburg to see if you can't get together and, hey, maybe you could come up with
Then they'll end up
4,000?
with, like, then they'll end up with like,
The board can't,
5,000.
because that's a private organization, that's a private club, so we don't have
Well,
any authority to
that's what I'm
go out
saying.
and
What's a private
ask.
club?
The senior
The Mayor
center
Grafton
club
Seniors.
is not the senior
It's the
center.
Grafton Senior Group.
Right.
Right.
To Supervisor Gundrum and the Grafton Town Board. We are the Grafton Senior Group compiled of seniors ages 60 and older from Grafton and surrounding areas. Our meetings are held at the Everett Wager Senior Center. A majority of the group attend the senior center on a regular basis. We as a senior group pay for the monthly entertainment at the Everett Wager Senior Center, along with any supplies for monthly projects. We also supply food along with some food donations for a small food pantry that we have at the center for seniors, both homebound in the area
use a lot.
and those that come here to the center. Periodically, we purchase and send necessities to the homebound seniors in our area, such as toilet paper, facial tissue, soap, toothbrushes. We do hold a couple fundraisers to assist with those costs. We are coming to the town to ask for some monetary assistance. We have been paying for all of the above mentioned for years out of the little money that we raise. Yes, occasionally we receive monetary donations from families when their loved one passes, and we always utilize that for the betterment of the senior center. We used to have support from the insurance companies on a monthly basis to help pay for entertainment, craft supplies, etc. Unfortunately, that went away during COVID. If we continue to pay for everything on our own, our funds will be depleted. We are asking the town for $2,500 to assist with monthly expenses like entertainment, purchasing of goods for homebound seniors, and perhaps sponsoring a bus trip for the Grafton Senior Group. Thank you for your consideration for the Grafton Senior Group. Respectfully, Helen Petrie.
I'm not okay with sponsoring a bus.
Why bus trips?
They're the Everett Wager Senior Group. I was just at their meeting Tuesday, and they're trying to separate from the Everett Wager Senior Center. They don't want to be the Everett Wager Senior Center because of the males conflicting and stuff. They use the same post office. Their money is kept at the senior center, their checkbooks all at the senior center. Lisa said that their money is spent at her discretion. That's the director, I'm sorry. She just said it at the meeting on Tuesday. Like, she buys lottery tickets for the birthdays and stuff like that out of the money. But they're the Everett Wager Senior Group is what they're calling themselves, and that's what they're switching banks to Capcom, and that's what they want put on the checks and stuff. They don't want the Everett Wager Senior Center. They want the Everett Wager Senior Group.
And per Darcy, they can't be buying lottery tickets and gift cards. Who wants to put their name on that?
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't mention gift cards, but they
I heard
did
your
mention.
mom won.
What?
I heard your mom won the other day, so.
Yeah, $2.
Yeah.
But you know what? She didn't buy it, and my mother doesn't need the $2.
Right.
So she would probably give it back as a donation. But all I'm saying is, we gotta remember, what happens with people, individuals, buying lottery tickets?
So take away the bus trip. How much is the bus trip? $1,500?
I don't know. She didn't enumerate how much that was.
Right.
She actually said maybe the occasional bus trip. That's not.
Right.
Did you get the feeling? Did you get the feeling from that
Give 'em
letter?
two.
They're looking for,
Give them two.
they're looking for a chunk of money?
2,000 is,
Or are they looking like, you know, this is the budget and we'll give you receipts
but
and
nothing
stuff?
for nothing. You guys use the coffee, you use all their stuff.
No, Joey.
You have a meeting. You don't
No,
use their coffee.
no, it's in every single article. You're on your own, on your beverage. We don't even use their napkins
No.
or their plates. Everything, the Merry Makers is in the closet, marked
Yeah, we have
Merry
all our own
Makers.
supplies.
We use nothing except the electricity,
We don't make coffee.
and we don't drink
on
coffee.
that building.
Yeah, we don't make
Yeah,
coffee.
no, we touch no plates,
I don't drink
nothing.
coffee, I'm not making it.
That's how I feel.
And the Merry Makers trips, though, ladies, you charge folks to go on.
No,
Correct.
we charge, not for the bus,
We charge to cover the, you know,
the boat ride, the
right, the
train
boat
trip.
ride, we charge whatever they charge.
Everybody has to buy their own ticket.
Yes, but the bus
Right.
is covered by the
Right,
town.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because the merrymakers are going anyway, so there's open spots, let other people go.
And they're also for the,
I'm okay with putting money aside for them,
Thank you.
but I want to make sure it's for events that are building up the senior center, not going on bus trips where people won't be going to the
Or
senior center.
supplies or something that they might need.
Really able to go on
Supply
those
wise.
trips, to be
So,
honest with you.
I wouldn't be,
Things
More
like
their
that.
entertainment and their holiday stuff and stuff like
right,
that.
I'd be okay
A
with
lot of them
like
cannot get on buses.
putting money aside for them, but have it be similar to the merrymakers where they submit us a thing for, you know, this person's coming
Well,
for
yeah.
entertainment, and then we pay the bill,
Right.
so that way they're taken care, and that way we
And
know our
that
money's
way,
going
when they
towards
have a
building
basket
up.
raffle, they can keep their own money.
Why couldn't they go on bus trips if they so desired?
they can.
They can, but
They
a
can
lot
go
of
with
them are
us.
not able to is on and off the bus and
I see.
walk all day. You know what I mean? They just.
Yeah, but they're asking to take an occasional bus trip.
Right.
And you're saying you don't want them to.
But why can't they go with the Grafton Merrymakers?
Because maybe you're not going where they want to go.
I don't know.
My personal concern is I want the Everett Wager Senior Center to be built up to try to get back to 5 days a week.
Absolutely.
I don't see how that's gonna happen if there's bus trips taking them away from the center. I'd rather have more things happening in the center, help draw more people in, so that way they're utilizing this space and can help build it up so we can get.
And I think
to five.
that's what it really will be.
And that's what I would like to
Right.
see.
And on Tuesday, there weren't any more than 3 people there that could actually step up on the steps of a bus.
Right.
Now, my mother was there. She's
All
got
right,
a
what
walker.
would the
So
board like
they
to
need
do
a
as
bus
far
that
as the
can have my
request?
van, I'll take them.
What would the board like to do?
I'm okay with the 2,500 as long as we're gonna have stipulations where they're going to be using it to, have entertainment come in and stuff like that. I
You
don't wanna.
just start them out with like 2 and then just.
If you're okay
go.
with
I
2,
don't
I'm
know.
fine with
You
that
guys-
too.
I
It's
don't
whatever
know.
the board
I just
wants.
think
I'm okay with
that's where you
giving-
don't always get at, you know?
Right. I'm okay with giving them money. That's my main thing. It's just, I wanna make sure there's stipulations so that when the money's being used in a way that.
What do you think,
Board
Steve?
feels
Give
it's
So you want to actually micromanage them is really what it sounds like.
No, I'm trying to make sure there's checks and balances
Well-
and that we're.
Well,
With the
what, I
43
think both of them should be treated the same
The
way.
Merrymakers.
Which is it.
We trade vouchers.
Hey, the
I'm just
Merrymakers,
asking.
you submit requests with or vouchers.
Yes.
With
Right.
with receipts.
Right.
Yes.
There's no reason the senior group can't do the same thing.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Treat them the same, that's what I,
Because that way nobody's going home
like, you
with
wanna
it.
do the, you guys wanna go with the 25, or do you wanna go with?
I'm good with the 25.
All right, give them
As long as there's the stipulations on
Yes, right.
how it's gonna be used.
And
No.
the bus trips, look into the Mary.
Before we go too much farther, there's the electricity that hasn't been put into that budget for that line.
Okay.
Which
so
is
change it to
hideous.
what?
Well,
Between
that's-
$400 and $800 a month, roughly.
Right.
More
So
like
it's,
6 to 8.
it's an average of 7,500 more a year, so we're looking at $14,376 for that line item.
But you already,
Say that.
but you've already used 16,000 this year.
That's because we repaired the roof this year,
Oh, okay,
and
Yeah.
we had some furnace issues that we also took care of.
okay.
The air conditioner was.
$14,376.
14,376.
Is that efficient? All right, and that includes anticipated electrical bills plus 6876, which is split between Merrymakers and
Well, that's split,
2,500.
but, yeah.
Not split, but,
Yeah.
okay, moving on.
At 6 o'clock at night.
They're a lot bigger.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Huh? What?
Merrymakers used to have a lot of.
Yeah, right, right.
Okay,
Right again.
moving on to parks, 1,700.
Is that all right, Joey?
I think so,
Flowers,
yeah.
flowers.
17.
Okay.
We're
I mean,
looking at
a lot of
around,
stuff went up, but I think it's still good.
Jody, we're looking at like 400 a year for electricity for the park. So that puts you at around 1,300. But you tend not to use that money anyway,
Right.
that full amount, so.
Well, like, I just do the summer flowers and the fall flowers and the greens, I go get on my own, I don't charge, I didn't charge anybody but weekends.
Right.
You know, like you said, but I think it's fine.
Okay.
So you're leaving that at 17?
And then with, what did you say it was for power? Another 450 on it?
But no, not another.
Oh, okay. Oh, all
That's
right.
in lieu of this.
So they give you around 1,300 to
Yeah.
spend.
That's why it's at that, I got you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem.
Confused for a minute.
Suggestion on the power, Frank, those big quartz halide lights that we have shining on that monument, they should be changed to an LED. It would cut that bill in half.
Right.
It's not, the bill isn't the amount of power we're using, we're only using like $1.50 a month in power. It's the extra fees that are tacked onto it.
Did they recharge?
So if we were to buy a solar panel and a battery, we'd probably end up saving us not having to have a bill anymore. You know, that's
You need it for
something-
events and everything like that.
Right.
Like all summer, I didn't even put the lights on, I have lights on now.
Okay, so 1,700 is where that stands. for parks, contractual expense, okay. All right, moving on to the youth program. We don't have a youth director, so there was not a youth budget submission. I actually reduced, took out the $6,000 salary for the youth director. My thought on that was, we've had great luck with the recreation committee with volunteers, and I was hoping we could get someone to volunteer to run programs for the youth for 2024.
No.
So,
I don't like that idea. I like the way we had it myself. I like to try to really get a youth director.
We should
Youth director gives you more commitment.
We do.
And we're losing money from the state
Everywhere.
coming through. Every year I
Mhm.
see, the past few
Yeah,
years,
I'm
we
not
always
into
gave
that.
Grafton money.
Right in
You
recreation.
can't give you money if
You're
you
not
don't
gonna
have
go out
a
with
youth
a committed
program.
person and volunteers.
I'd still want to have a program, just not,
I know, I.
the trouble we've had getting a, or having anyone apply for youth director.
We need to try again for next year.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do with the personal services and youth?
I would keep it all there.
And leave everything just as it
That's
is.
as it is.
I'm,
Gives us-
I'm okay with lowering it because last year we were looking at a winter program that never happened because we lost it. So I'm okay
Yeah.
with keeping it at the 9,500 right now.
Yeah.
So that way we
Yeah.
can try to find a director and hopefully get a summer program. Because at this point, we're not gonna have a winter program. You know, even with a new director.
Right, this year.
Yeah,
So-
that 9,500 was just the youth, the summer kids.
Right, but I'm saying that, well, we had the extra week of the summer camp, or winter camp we were looking at last year that we
The
approved.
February break.
Right, February break. That didn't happen. So I'm okay with 9,500 and then we'll see where it is. We have over $1 million in our bank account, so if we end up having to dip into that to have a summer program, like, perfect, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so we're leaving
I
at
don't want to get away
9,500.
do away with it.
Right, I want to make sure we keep
We
looking for
don't
a
have to,
director.
we just leave it at the 19.5 and just,
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
9,500.
What are you saying, the whole amount, keep the 10,000
He's
for
talking about the whole thing.
Right,
Keep
okay,
everything
oh, yeah,
the
19,500, I'm
same.
sorry, Steve, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so 19,500, yes. leave it. Okay, for the library submission was for 54,000 this year, that's up from 51,500, I believe, that's a 4.9%
And again, do you have a
increase.
broke down reason, budget, thing for them?
I do, and we'll print it as
Yes.
soon as I can figure out how to get in here
Because I have not
and print
seen
from the
that.
laptop to there.
Oh, you have one?
I see the
Thank you,
sheets for you.
Amanda.
I have what our budget was for this past year, and then some statistics of what we've accomplished this year so far.
Thank you.
Sue Brown submitted the president of the board. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was given to Ingrid.
What was the show, what was the total?
It shows the total that we asked for.
Yeah. But it doesn't break down like your payroll and what you plan on using your 54,000 for.
It's all salaries.
The 54,000 is all salaries?
This is only 44.
If you look at
I'm
the
not-
23
I
budget,
think
it
we
was the
should keep
same.
Huh? I do too. Yeah. My point.
The library's open 26 hours a week, and that's strictly circulation. So the front desk is covered for circulation. All the programs are additional. So the story time is once a week, Legos is once a week, Eclipse is the Saturday. I mean, we do programs year round, and all those are in addition to, those staff hours are in addition to the 26 hours.
You used to be at 20 hours, it went up to 26.
We've been, I don't know where that 20 came.
Oh, I don't either, I'm just always told.
The
that
library's
it's-
open 26 hours a week, yes.
But,
The director's 20 to 24 hours a week.
and what about any volunteers? What happened to all the volunteers that used to be all volunteer?
You tell
Oh.
me.
Where did you
tell
have
me.
none?
We have a student that, not a student,
That's
we have a
so
special
sad.
needs boy that comes
Who's there?
once a week for a couple hours. He helps shelf books.
Oh,
And then we have Mrs. Pearson who comes and helps with story hour. She
Mhm.
does music, but you know,
She's a
that's-
volunteer.
she's a volunteer, but a staff person
Has
It has to be there
Yeah.
too. So she does the music, our staff person reads the books to the kids. Legos, this past week, we had 15 kids.
Oh, my grandkids
That's
love it.
two staff, that's at least two staff people for 2.5 hours.
Right.
Plus planning for what are we gonna do with them for 2 hours, or for an hour and a half. You know, they're all big. Yeah, and it is minimum wage.
That's what every employee makes then.
So if this is
Not
all
a bad
salary,
thing.
does that mean you're giving them a 4.9% salary increase?
If the 54 goes through. If the 54 doesn't, then it would probably be, if we go to 52, then it would be like a 3%.
So what's your bank account look like though?
We have a contingency fund, which is used for reserve, and it's used for a contingency fund. Yeah, we have a bank account.
That has quite a bit of money in it.
It has about, you're talking like the 100,000. I
Yes.
know, people heard that we got donated $100,000.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
And it is a reserve. Okay, as Ingrid knows, because she was there when I was cleaning the basement, we have a water problem that's coming in the corner. Estimate to fix that is $28,500. So there goes your contingency fund. You know.
Well,
And if you look at the budget I gave you, the budget is $85,000.
Right. I saw
Of that, 50,000 or so
earlier.
is, so the library has to come up with 35,000. So that's where you, and you see right on there where we took money out of savings, $12,000.
Okay, but you said you had the 100,000 whatever, but what else do you have?
What do you mean, what else do we have?
You said you received a $100,000 donation, but you must have had money before you
Yeah.
received that.
We did.
Like, what kind of money?
Well, the state, we have the state, we did 28,500 this year. I think it was 28,000. I have it actually. It's for the grants. So you have to spend, you do, you have to spend every penny. So 28,394, we received a check last December from the state, but that's going towards the grant.
And you do a couple of fundraisers, right?
So
And
where
if
do
you,
they move?
here, let me show you this.
Where do they move?
We raise about 12,000 in fundraising. So here's where we get our money. Town of Grafton, 51.5. Rensselaer County, 28.50. Brittenville, 1,500. Upper Hudson, 960. Gifts, $500, which was different this year, but
Yeah.
fundraising, 12,000. We have a community interest foundation, $500. Use of space as a donation, $400. Taken out of savings, $15,155 this year. That's 2023.
What do you have in your savings? That's not your contingency fund though, is it? What do you call in your savings?
Yeah, our savings is our contingency.
Okay, and the 28.5 you said from Rensselaer County, that's not the grant?
2,850.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
2,850 from Rensselaer County.
Okay, I wrote it down
We
as
get
28.5.
28,000 from the New York State Construction Grant. That's
That's a
also,
grant,
that's a
okay.
grant that's also in the account. So when you're looking at what we have in our savings,
Yeah.
that 28,000 from the state is in that savings account. So we haven't had to write the checks yet because the grant, the work hasn't been done.
And that's something
They
you
give us-
applied for.
Exactly. But every penny has to be spent.
Can I ask, how many employees do you have there? That
5.
just seems like an awful lot of money. 44.
We have 5 people, but
Yeah.
it's the 26 hours, but they're all part-time.
Yeah.
One person works 3 hours a month, another person works 13 hours a week, another person works 5 hours, 1 day a week, another person works 5 hours, 1
So
day
you
a
have a
week.
person that only works three
We have-
hours
yes.
a year?
No, a month,
Oh, a month. Oh, I thought you said.
What's the director get paid?
21,000. So if you wanted to see what I gave to the board, patron visits from January to September, Children, 586 children, 101 teens, 2,556 adults. That's just January to September. Materials borrowed so far this year from our patrons, 6,466 books, 2,554 ebooks. We did 72 programs so far this year. Summer reading program, which is, is a state mandated program. 27 children participated, 7 teens, 64 adults. 119 books were read by teens, 119 books read by teens, 7 teens. 480 books were read by adults, and 3,510 minutes were read preschool, either read to them or they read. We have 2 people that are taking some training classes. One is taking a semester, it's 2 hours a week for a whole semester for building early childhood literacy curriculum. And another one is taking 2 hours every other week for STEM training for using for the kids after school. So, and those are paid hours.
Good thing, Leanne. I know you do a great job on it. I haven't seen just I think.
Yeah. And then if you look at this other stuff that I gave you, if you look at local support, these were last year's because that's that's the only thing I can get. But you look at operating expenses and local support and you see that we are actually, Berlin's the only one that gets less than us. All the other ones, even the ones that compare to us as far as population.
And there's no way you could ever even try to get back any kind of volunteers in there?
I don't know what you want me to do. I mean,
I'm just saying, there's
do you have any volunteers for anything else? Okay.
I know, but have you advertised, have you tried, have you asked?
Of course we do,
Yeah.
yeah. You know,
That's what I meant by that, like, are you
and
trying?
most of the time it's like, well, if you need me, let me
Just
know.
like the ambulance drives, they have to
And we
work
do,
at
and I
it.
even put it on that sheet. Our trustees are all volunteers, and they volunteer at all the programs. Not the ones that are like at the library, Legos and story time, but they do the town picnic, they do the town festival, they do the Run for Roses, they do the annual fund drive. And those are 7 volunteers
Yep.
that are committing their time even to be on the board.
Mhm. Leanna, I noticed that the 44,000 and then you've got the line item for taxes and,
Yeah,
so the 54,000 all goes for salaries. How many people is that?
about 5.
Five
Well,
people.
6 counting.
6 county, okay. I did, okay, sorry for being Frank. I got him.
But I mean, okay, if you look at the local support, just Castleton, their population 1,477. Their local support for 22 was $176,000.
Right?
Here's Middleton.
In 2020, there were 45.
Petersburg, 13, their population 1,372. Their local support 76,000. Rensselaerville, their population 1,826, 69,758.
I don't know anything about Rensselaerville. But you have to also look at the median income of the areas that you're comparing to too. And I know Petersburg and us would be fairly, but you have to look at median incomes of the areas.
See, over 5 years, it's been 22% in the last 4 years, so about 22%. And this represents a 4.9% increase.
If you did 28, yeah, we did. just to keep the library open 26 times 52.
I said it was,
Which I actually have that on a separate.
I can't say.
I have to recuse myself because my wife is on the board, so I can't see anything on any of that.
If we went to 52,000, that's a 1% increase. So that's only, I believe you're budgeted at 51.5 presently?
Yeah.
Yes.
51.5, so. Oh my gosh, it's hectic, you're blind, isn't it?
They're small though.
I know.
Sorry, what, did you guys decide yet or no? Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss
We're
anything.
going back and forth, 52,
I'm leaning
52,000.
towards 52 myself.
What's another 2,000? Huh?
Okay, let's try that.
54.
We split the difference and went to 53,000, that's a 2.9% increase.
Yeah.
We'll try that and see where it shakes out.
Can you tell us at this point what the general fund tax increase is?
Yes, to this point, with leaving the library at 53, we're at 36.9%.
Increase, tax
Yes.
increase.
Percentage change, percentage change, 36.9%.
Which gives us a what percent increase in taxes, change in taxes?
It would be,
Percent change.
This is a temp.
looks like 38.92%, but that can't be.
No, that'd be high.
No.
It should be.
We're not even done with the budget. Why talk about the tax increase or a tax decrease at this point?
It should
We're not
be.
even done with what we're talking about.
I know, I'm just
Still
asking,
gotta see.
I'm asking, as of this point, what is the percent of change for the general fund, which should be, I think, column E on your Excel form?
No,
E or F?
It's not E. EF is coming in at 36.9% in the general fund.
36.9%
Yeah.
change.
Yep, which represents from 39 cents on 1,000 to 55 cents on 1,000.
Okay, because you were at 31.1% before you started today.
13.
13.
I'm sorry, 13.1% before you started today.
Yeah.
So we're at what, okay, I'm not gonna write it down, so we're all the way
Right.
through.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Going back to the library. 53,000, 2.9%.
I like the library, I want to support them. I'm happy.
What do you want to do? Tell me what to do. Tell me what number to put in, guys.
No,
53,000 is a 2.9% increase and 54,000 is a 4.9% increase.
Split hairs.
Yeah.
53.
Going
Give them the
once,
53.
going twice.
I know they do good work and I appreciate it. It's just
Absolutely.
22%
The kids
over the
love it.
last 4 years.
That's the part that's
It's hard to bite,
is
hard to
the
bite into.
percentage.
But that's
Yeah.
because of the that's
That's
because of the minimum wage.
I get
I
it.
mean, the minimum
I see
wage
this
has
in
gone
the
up
dollars.
every year
I-
since
Sure.
you
We all
did
do it.
this.
Leanna, what's your salary as director?
21,000,
21,500, and that would, so you'd be,
about $18 an hour.
okay, so if you, what would it be,
I don't even know if that's included in it. I think it must be then. Probably 500, I don't know. We don't do our budget until we get the budget from the town. We don't do our 2022
Right.
budget till we know what we're getting
How
from the
much
town.
you're actually getting a percentage of that yourself.
I've said no raise, but I don't know what the board will do.
That's, my only
Just fill
problem.
that line, yeah.
22% in 4 years?
It's a lot. What else do we have in town though?
If you look at what's our
Country.
missions,
That's not counting
you know,
4%.
we-
I get it, I
That's
still
not
get
counting
it.
the 4% this year's gonna do, right?
That's,
Right,
That's
right.
22%, not counting this year.
Absolutely.
This year we're putting at 26, almost 27%
Mhm.
over 4 years. That's pretty good.
That is.
But your services have gone up as well.
But maybe the next couple of years you'll take a break.
If we keep feeding the 1 or 2 services we have no money for the, to include any other services.
I'm trying whatever you guys agree with, honestly. I don't want to take away from them. I don't want to give them the whole thing because
Okay, I'm
it
hearing,
sounds crazy.
I'm hearing 52 and 53, I'm hearing don't give them the whole thing.
Yep.
I got 53 plugged in and that's 2.9%.
We'll do the 53.
52.5.
53.
And that's a what percent?
2.9.
2.9 is 53?
Yes. Okay, can we move on from that?
That's 26% over the last 4 years.
Yeah, it would
Yes,
be, yeah.
they've gone from,
Next year, the next year, and the next year. we'll get
in
it.
2020 it was 40,000, and then in 2023 it was 51.5. So it's in the, from 2020, 21, 22, and 23, they went from 40 to 51.5, which is 22% in 4 years. So they'll be going to just about 25%.
Right. And next year, be nice. It is, definitely.
Yes.
And if we have to change it,
Okay, all right, let's leave it at 53, compromise, and
Yeah.
see how we, let's get through
what we
this.
come up with.
Okay, historian under personal services is 500, leaving it the same. Under celebrations contractual expense, that is gone from 4650 we budgeted last year to 5150.
I don't
That's the
think that's
recreation
necessary.
I don't see a slip on
I
that.
don't either, I don't. Oh, which one of them?
Yes,
I didn't see it. But we always had it at like 4,000 and didn't even use all that.
Yeah, we had 4,400 in 2022, and we only spent $3,000 of that. At this time of 2022, we spent 2,200. This time of 2023, we spent $930.
Right.
So it looks like you're trending lower in spending.
That's because we've gotten donations and stuff too.
Can I comment on that?
And I don't
Last
think
year,
they have
you only
events every
had
month.
2 or 3 events. This
But that's
year,
all.
we're planning on trying to have an event monthly,
I
and
know.
we're also
I
incorporating
think you'll burn
the
yourselves
youth
out with
commission.
that.
No,
Well, it's for us to,
make that decision.
I'm not interested in them worrying about a youth commission. I'd rather have them stick to recreation.
Oh, no,
No, what I was
absolutely.
saying about the youth, what I
Absolutely.
was saying about youth was the success we've had with volunteers for the recreation committee. I'm thinking we could get volunteers of that same mindset to assist, but I think
Donnie
yours have done
just
that.
said
We need
something
to.
about the youth program too about this.
like the trunk and tree, for instance, we're presenting that because there was no
Yeah, but-
youth department to present that. So we're
When
trying
we-
to step up to the
Right,
plate
but
and
when we
offer
first
for
got
across
this
the
whole thing
board.
going, it was 4 events a year, maybe 4.
That's because
And
the other people on
I
that
think that's
didn't want
plenty
to do
for
any
any
more than
town. I
that.
don't think any town does things monthly like that. Brunswick does.
Some
Grafton
do.
does, Grafton does it
We don't
weekly.
have the
I mean, not
people,
Grafton,
for
Brunswick.
one. You know,
have
when
the
you guys, a lot of
activities,
your
you have the
events, you have
people.
the same amount of people at. So
Right.
I don't want you to burn yourselves out. That's my opinion. I have my own opinion.
Hey, I agree.
I'm against the monthly things.
So what are you thinking, leave it at what it was, 4650?
I would just say 4 myself, but
I'm okay with the 4,000.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen anything that I think 4,000 is plenty.
I think the past couple of years, Betsy did a budget request and wrote down every event, whether it be music or the picnic. So she actually was very detailed.
Right, you knew
Right, but I
exactly
have
what
not-
we
And-
were getting for the following year.
Yeah,
And then you guys would come under that.
yeah, and Betsy
Yeah,
did that, and she was really detailed about the descriptions, the costs,
Yeah.
And this is this is Donna's first year to do a budget, and nobody
First
that
2 months.
did
Yeah.
the budget.
No, no,
We
and that's
didn't have
true.
anybody come to
Yeah,
us and tell
because
us
that's
how.
what happened to us when we started. We were the first ones
Right.
to do a budget.
And we've been very
Yeah.
graciously
Yes, you are
received in the
gracious.
community and have
Yes,
some
no, I agree
very
with you. You're very
generous
gracious.
donations from
Right.
businesses who are
Right.
supporting
And I
us.
think it's
And
wonderful.
if we have a donation,
No, it's
then
great.
we don't need to pull
I
from
know, you
our
are
budget.
very gracious, I get it. But what I'm saying is,
We
it's
do the
always
same
nice to
thing. We
have.
had, I mean, the town picnic never cost us the town anything.
It didn't cost anything this
Yes.
year.
But see, that's what we're
Because it's all
saying.
donations, I mean, that's what we're
But we
saying.
did have,
Here,
we had a
lot to
budget.
do Before our meeting.
Right.
So,
Well, you can't get it to change.
Yeah, no, I just,
But the rec committee this year did pick up stuff from the youth, that there was no youth programs this year.
No, and I know.
And the rec committee picked up
And
youth
what the
stuff.
events committee tried to do was make it town-wide for youth, adults, seniors, so
Right.
make the events,
Everybody.
so they
Everybody.
encompassed all age groups.
Right.
And that's what we're doing.
yeah.
We're attempting.
Okay, there's a consensus up here to make it 4,000.
4,000.
What was it last year?
4650.
And what's the actuals as of right now? Because right now it says 250.
930.
930?
And that's, the board wants us to stay having less than one time a month. Is that correct?
That was just my opinion. I don't
Okay,
know what
I'm just,
anybody
that's what
else
I'm
says.
asking.
I have no idea.
Because we, how long have we been doing
I
this?
just think a month goes by
Me?
very
2
fast and
months.
it's too much.
Well, that,
Just,
but,
really just the August, we started with the August.
yeah, and the thing is,
In a couple of
The
weeks.
picnic and then the Molly Darn.
Picnic, Molly Darn, and Trunk and Treat are December.
and we got a hell of a deal on Molly Durnan.
Yeah, was it less than the 500? Because that's what I had,
But the library paid 50%.
And,
right, but I
and
know
we
I
also had
contracted
a
the
donation
500
for the
with
other
Molly.
part.
So, yeah, that worked.
And,
Molly did us a huge
And
favor.
we also got a full donation for the other
By the time they
part.
have an event, they got it, I think.
Yeah.
Any
budget.
donated, so that didn't cost the town any money.
I agree with you. I think the monthly events way too much.
I do too. Okay.
I think what they're doing before, 3-4 events a year.
Seasonal type
like,
thing or something like that.
Keep it simple, we're not Brunswick.
at the 4,000, what is the percentage change?
Down.
We're-
We'll go
Yeah,
down.
Frank, what was your
14%.
comment that we're not Brunswick? We haven't had the music like Brunswick,
It's
because we
what?
can't
We
afford
can't
it.
afford
Down.
That's why we're trying to do other things that doesn't cost as much,
Okay,
but
it
still
was 10%
appreciate
at
it.
5,100, so that
I'm
doesn't make
sorry, I
sense.
didn't hear his comment.
Hmm?
I didn't hear.
That's because he mumbled.
I didn't, I said we're not Brunswick.
10.8%.
What does that mean?
Up 10
I
point.
mean, there was a comment made that, Brunswick has something every week. And
Every
the board,
month.
the board said that we don't think every month is appropriate, that
Why?
2 or 3.
What is
times
there
a-
for us to
3 or
do
4
here
times
as
a year.
town folk?
Hike, kayak, go to the state park, breathe the fresh
But
air,
by the time
climb
you
a
have an
tree.
event, you're getting ready to do another event, and I
Right.
just think people in town won't be coming as
I don't,
much.
yeah, I don't
Every
think,
4 weeks
not
of an event.
necessarily you get burned out, I don't think the people in town are gonna
That's what I'm
support
talking
you
about.
on a monthly event.
Right.
You've already had to
It's the people.
you had to cancel the cornhole.
I didn't cancel.
I think
Well,
seasonal
it was
is-
canceled,
And
but I'm just saying, it's,
I know.
Yeah.
we're
it's
gonna
the town,
Cap-
it's
all right,
not
move
you
on.
guys.
Keep moving
Yeah.
on.
All right, so where are we at for what line? How much is that?
4,000.
4,000, okay.
All right, moving on to planning. Personal services, 1,500. There was no change there. The clerk, secretary to the planning board at 1,000, no change there. But then the board
I just
changed.
reversed that, Ingrid, so
Oh.
it's from same price as last year.
Okay, so not 59.25?
59.25 total.
What everybody was, that was the total.
I just put the total in the wrong spot.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, good.
So
Okay.
it's 31.25.
So it's 30, perfect.
So the percentage change is
59.25,
what?
same as
Zero.
last year.
Zero.
What's he talking about?
Okay.
Number.
Okay, refuse and garbage, personal services, 8,000.
Yep, you wanna keep that the same,
Contractual expense,
keep that the same.
34,500 total.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good deal. Okay, for employee benefits, for state retirement, 18,500.
How about refuse and garbage?
We just did
Stay
it,
the
yeah.
same.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't hear
everything's
you.
staying the
Staying
same
the
there.
Did? You guys are speeding right along.
So no change in the state retirement, 18,500. Social security, 17,480, or 17,037.
I think that's okay.
Wait, what did you say first, Social Security?
481.
Yep.
Yep, 17,481, sorry.
I thought you were something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you reduced some salaries, so that's gonna change. You reduced justices and stuff. So
No,
that's
they went up.
No,
That went up. They didn't
Went
take
up.
it away.
As much as they
They
asked.
haven't taken away from anything yet.
I thought you reduced the justices what they were asking for.
Right,
They asked for
1,000.
20,000 and you went down to
No,
18,000.
no, but overall, they're going up from last year for the benefit side of it.
But the social security part was figured on the 20,000 that they wanted.
They looked at last year's, what was it last year? And then what will it be this year? And you left it the same, right?
Judges get state retirement.
No, it's more.
No.
No, it's more.
Oh, then that's not what you said. I heard the same, so you're going up for benefits.
That's the
State
state retirement,
retirement
they left the
That's
same.
Went down.
State
The
retirement's the
Social
same.
Security went up,
The social security went up.
workers' comp stayed the same, unemployment stayed.
I guess the question is your figures going up based on what you actually did tonight or on what they asked for? Which was $1,000 each more.
I would
Which
have
one
to
did
say
you-
what
how'd you
was
calculate it,
on
Ingrid?
here.
if we've made the adjustment to salaries to the judges, would it have changed down here on the Excel spreadsheet, Phil? You know what I mean? It
If
doesn't
you
make
did
sense.
it based on each of them getting, what was it, they were gonna get they asked for 10,000 each?
Yes.
They were getting paid 8,000 apiece this past year, and
Yes.
you settled at 9,000 apiece. So if your social security is based on 10,000 apiece, it's a
Right.
little bit high.
Right.
Yeah. So I said that's
For
gonna go
Social
down.
Security, your obligation's gonna increase about $70 per person.
So it's not a lot either way.
It's not, you're talking about peanuts.
So even if you left it in at the other number, you're not actually gonna pay that. It's gonna be whatever the real cost is of social security. So you have $170 extra in your bank account.
Well, it's still nice to have an accurate figure.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm having trouble with the spreadsheet adjusting, so just bear with me a second. So we've got 17,481, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Social Security.
Yeah, anybody's salary was adjusted, that needs to change.
Let me see if I can change something just for. Okay, that worked. Okay, so we're, just that line is not letting me change it. But that is, so 17,481?
Yeah.
So, oh, for Pete's sake. Why is this not, there you go. Okay, all right, workers' comp, 4204. Unemployment insurance, $1,000. We're self-insured for unemployment, so we leave that there as kind of a cushion just in case. Disability insurance at $1,500, and hospital and medical insurance at $17,250.
Did we bring the disability down and match the workers' comp? We've got a huge bank account. I know $500 don't matter, I'm just saying it.
What are you asking to do, Frank?
Should we have the workers' comp the same as or disability the same as workers' comp, $1,000? I know $500 doesn't matter, but you're saying we have so much
Workers'
money.
comp's 4204.
It's the unemployment.
Oh, I'm
insurance.
sorry, I read it wrong. The unemployment,
Oh,
should
okay.
have it 1,000, and then the disability, you have 1,500. Do you want to make them both the same, or just leave it the way it is?
Well, the disability insurance, we pay a carrier to.
Okay, so that's not self-insured?
No, not self-insured, no,
Okay,
no.
never mind then.
Not self-insured.
Can I ask a question about the
Okay.
self-insurance?
Sure.
Have you ever had any experience with making a claim on that?
Yes.
And how does this $1,000 compare to making a claim?
It's lower, John, but
Yeah.
we've had several years without any issues with unemployment, so we've always opted to just,
So you'll take any claim against reserves?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, in the event that we have a claim, yes.
Do we know how much is in the reserves for the unemployment at this point?
Well, it's our general fund, we have over $1 million in there right now.
But we don't have a separate,
No.
Okay, do those numbers look good to the board?
Mhm.
Moving forward, yeah, okay. All right.
so why do we bother?
Okay. All right, moving to, capital project fund is the next line item list. 9950.9. 25,000?
Yeah, that's what we keep over here and there.
Okay. All right. Okay, this is on to the revenue. Payments in lieu of taxes, we have $700. Interest and penalty on real property tax services at $3,000.
Hold on one second, slow down. This year, we only received 500 instead of 700. And then the year before, we received 0. So I think we should keep it 700, but we need to look into why that's that.
Okay.
I'm okay with 700.
Okay.
That's what we should be getting.
Who do we get private payments from?
Friends of Dyke and Pond?
Are those contractual obligations?
No.
Those are voluntary contributions to the town,
Mhm.
so they could change.
Mhm.
They've gone up, they used to be low.
But at their discretion, they could change.
Yep. Yes, sir, yes.
Because they don't pay us taxes.
Okay, so moving down to departmental income, town clerk fees. That was lower.
Wait, where,
You didn't.
you just skipped.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I surely did, I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, yep, interest and penalties on real property taxes, 3,000.
Right.
That's fine.
And then county sales tax.
We have 285,000, I believe that should be $315,000.
Okay.
How do we know that should be 315?
I called the county.
Oh, okay.
They're doing their budget right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
So,
Thank you for doing that, Frank.
yeah, 315,000.
Okay, and then franchise fees?
27,000.
Okay.
But we've only got 13,000 so far?
Yeah, let me.
We've gotten through the 2 quarters, right? 2 quarters and we've gotten 13,281, so Frank's right on with the.
Yeah.
2
Yeah,
quarters
so-
through August 13th, that's 1 and 2 quarters. Or through
No,
August
that just
31st.
means that's everything we
That's-
received through August 31st. So we might have last received it mid-July for the first 2 quarters of the year. So that would stand, that's all we've received since August. We just finished the 3rd quarter.
So, yeah, as of 9/31, we've received $20,192.
Okay,
There you go.
so we're going with what?
27,000.
Yeah.
Okay, ready to move to town clerk fees? What, Vicki, it was a reduction, what are you thinking?
I think across the board, I have seen smaller numbers this year opposed to last year. I don't see it bouncing up to the 1,800 that we had for last year.
Yeah, last year we were at 1,900, the year before that we were at 2,200.
Great, it's 1,800 a year for the last 4 years.
We're at 1,300 right now, so I do think it should be at 1,800.
In previous years, the dog licenses, were they all combined together in the town clerk? Because I can't remember.
No.
No, they weren't.
I think that's
Gotcha.
what it seems.
that's your volume. What are you thinking?
Are you okay with keeping it at the 18? I think by the end of the year, you're gonna be close to 18.
Pardon?
I think by the end of the year, you're gonna be close to 18.
You're at 15.
You're at?
All right.
Yeah, I'm comfortable going with that.
At 18, okay.
You
Yeah, that
don't
was,
need more, you don't, you're fine.
no, that's revenue coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, and then again, planning board fees went down, from 16 to 1,000. Was that,
I think we should be at 16.
Not a lot of people are doing it, a lot of, you know, subdivisions and stuff.
right?
I thought that number would be a lot higher than that.
Okay, you thought, oh, you're thinking it should have been higher to date this year? Or what do you, okay. Because you're budgeted at 1,600 and you put in for 1,000. So do you want to keep it at 1,600?
Keep it at 1,600.
Yeah? Okay.
We try it down as well.
I mean, I need one antenna upgrade, and that's $2,500, you know, something like that, so it's.
Yeah, big, 2021 you had a low year with 1,200, but the rest of the years were pretty high. So-
You're just doing revenues.
Yes, just revenues, yeah. So 1,600, we'll leave it at the original? Okay. Okay. Garbage removal and refuse charges, 31,000?
Yep, keep it there.
Okay. Steve, you're good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interest and earnings, $300.
Yeah, hard to tell, it's up and down sometimes, but I know 300 is very conservative. Like, as of this year, we brought in 3,600 so far this year, but last year was only 713. Year before that was 1,054, year before that was 670, and year before that was 1,606. So we can safely raise it to at least 700, I would think.
What's in that account as far as interest? Is that your general fund or your surplus?
Interest and earnings.
You know what? What are we at?
Interest and earnings.
I assume it's so high because of the amount of money we have in the bank account.
And you only got $300?
We're at 300, but we brought in 3,635 so far this year.
Yeah, today.
But
Well,
we've
rates
never
have gone
brought
up.
in anywhere near that amount before.
Well, rates have gone up quite a bit over the last 6 months.
I mean,
Right.
you get 5.5% all day long right now.
Yeah, it's just sitting in a savings account.
Yeah. That's $50,000 a year on $1 million.
Yeah, we're talking about,
Or 55,000 and
I'd be okay
5.5%.
with bringing it up to $1,000.
yeah.
Holy shit.
And it's easily available.
Okay. So interest and earnings going from 300 to 1,000, and rental of real property? That's based on the post office and the senior center. Okay, dog licenses and permits, 700.
That looks okay with me.
Marriage licenses, 110.
Looks good to
Yep,
me as
Vicky
well.
knows what the market over in there, so. And then buildings and alterations permits,
I think that should be 10,000.
right? I was thinking 8, but you thinking 10?
Yeah. Yeah, last year was 10,800, the year before was 8,000, the year before that was 13,000. We're at 7,100 right now.
Yeah. It's
So
slower in the winter, you know?
Right.
The colder months come, it gets slower, but
Where's the 71?
you wanna go 8 or 10?
Okay.
Eight's more conservative.
Yeah.
It's up to you. You've got a fund balance you can rely on too.
Right. It's up to you guys. I think next year will be around 10.
I'm fine with the 10.
Okay.
All right, because it's higher, you know,
Yep.
8, 6, 10.
You adopted for 22.
Right.
I think 10 looks good with the past years.
Right.
Okay, fines and forfeited bail.
I'm okay with 6,000. It's kind of hard to project because of it being screwed up from last year. You know, where they back charged us for a while. So,
Ingrid, can I make a point on that? Every single court in upstate New York is down significantly in their fines because of the new bail reform laws. A number of villages in upstate New York are actually closing their court and making the towns pick them up because they're not even bringing in enough in fines to pay for just the judge alone, let alone everything else. Granville is down 82%, the village of Granville, in fine collection. And the town up there is down significantly as well. Everybody is way down 50 to 60% minimum because they can't. And the other part of that law stops them from collecting on fines that have not been paid. The scoff laws, this law says you can't go after them. They're off scot-free. I think you're going to see a significant drop in court fines, not an increase.
right.
We looked at some of the
Yeah.
money. Right.
No, that's right, but is that?
Do you want to drop it? Want to drop it from 6,000?
Well, we had, in 2021, it was around 7,000. And the way I'm looking at it now, I think we were rough estimate around 7,000 last year.
But the laws weren't into effect that impacted those fines at that time.
Right.
Year to date.
Year to date, we're at 2,550.
There you go. There you go.
So go to
But in 2021, year to date, we're at $548.
But in 2021, you did not have the law impacting that fine collection.
Right.
You're talking apples and oranges there.
Right.
This is one that you could be conservative on.
So what do you guys want to do?
higher or lower? Lower? Leave it at 6.
Former judge is saying leave it at 6.
I just leave it at 6.
All right, we'll leave it. Thank you.
Okay, sale of scrap and excess materials, 0, gifts and donations, 0, unclassified revenues, 1,000.
What is that?
That's a surprise. That means you got $1,000 from some source you just never expected. I mean, it could be a refund on something, it could be anything. Because you don't have a separate miscellaneous category for income, do you?
No, we do, but it's not, there's nothing in it.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Okay, moving to state aid. Aid revenue per capita, 8250. That's our AIM money we get. Mortgage tax of 55,000.
Yeah, I think that should be around 65,000.
That's the number.
Can you explain to us why you think it should be that, Frank, please?
County has their numbers. You probably
okay.
got that from the county?
No, that I tracked myself, but the county's way high on that. Let me just get down to it. Because I'm being conservative, 2021 we were 85,000, 2022 we were 80,000. And so I'm figuring we're probably gonna be around 65,000 this year. So, or more than 65,000 this year, so I figured 65,000 is a conservative number. It raises up a little bit, but, you know, we've been getting a lot more money than we've been budgeting for out of that one.
Okay, so 65,000?
65,000.
Okay. 10 minutes away, okay.
Okay. I'll just get back to where we were. Mortgage went up to 65. Just scrolling down through. What's happening? Yeah. Huh. Hang on one second, guys. I'm just gonna- That's why.
I'm already down in highway, that's what happened. Okay, hang on one second. Okay, so the mortgage tax is left, and going to 65,000? Okay, all right, then, federal aid revenue, programs for the aging, emergency disaster, they're all nothing. They're all zero. Okay, going to highway fund appropriations. At this, yeah, going, I'd like to turn this over to Councilman Lewandowski and Superintendent Bouchard at this point. I know they've had conversations with one another, so I'd like to suggest that Councilman Lewandowski takes the lead on the highway portion of the budget.
Okay. All right, so, personnel, the DA 1710.1 is zeroed out. The general repairs, DA 5010.1, we're at 127,000. That's for the guys to give them a 3% raise. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, then we got contractual expenses, same as last year, 66,025. Keep the same?
Yes.
All right, then we go down to improvements. Improvements is the same as last year, 145,000. Is everyone okay keeping it the same? All right, then we got machinery. It's just going up from 104,000 to 105,000. That's just $1,000. Is everybody okay with that? Yep.
Yes.
All right, then we got contractual expenses, $65,000, same as last year. Is everyone okay with that? All right, brush and weeds, $2,500. That line used to be used when we didn't do our own brushing, so it's $2,500. Is that okay to be zero, Jared?
Sure.
All right, is everyone okay with that?
What is it?
Zero.
Zero?
Yep.
That's not mowing the cemeteries.
Okay, so going down to, let me change that.
Oh.
Contractual expense to zero?
Yeah.
Under
So,
5140.14?
yeah.
5140.4. Okay.
Here's the question.
Right.
Because
Well, he is a tractor.
I want to say that's the code we use for uniforms.
That's what,
It got switched from Russ and Reed's to a uniform code. I'm not sure. I'd have to look in my system. But somewhere you gotta add their uniforms in there.
That's where it used to be, brush and weeds.
Yeah, you should, instead of,
Okay.
Where
All right, well,
is
then that
the,
makes sense why we have,
where is the mowing of the cemeteries? Is that back in the general fund mowing and?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. All right, so should we keep that at 2,500 then?
What
Because well, we let them get stipends for
Right.
boots and stuff like
Yeah,
that, you know?
Right.
And,
good point, whoever's pointing that out, thank you.
because, yeah, in my system is uniform, like, brush and weed.
But they were, right.
That code, 5140.4.
So that is uniform. Okay.
We just processed one, so it's familiar.
right,
Right.
so, okay,
gotcha.
so then I say let's keep it at 2,500 then. 'Cause
You
that's
good with
pretty
that,
similar.
Jared? Is that good?
It's not zeroed out.
Yeah, they certainly should get something for,
Yeah.
boots
All right.
and whatnot, obviously.
So it's back up there, all right.
Safety.
So we're all good with 2,500?
Yes.
All right. So we got snow removal again. This is the winter part of the guy's pay. It's going from,
No, I wanted them to stop talking.
it's going from 150,850 to 155,000. That gives them a 2.8% increase. So as a total, they get a little under 3% increase for their salaries. Is that okay with everybody?
I'm happy, I'm happy.
We got nothing with longevity. Contractual expenses, went from 72,200 to 75,000. Is that okay? All right.
Can I ask how you're giving a 3% raise in one area and a 2.8% raise in a different area to the highwayman?
He was just rounding numbers to make them even.
Okay.
And then, all right, so then we're down to state retirement, social security, workers' comp, unemployment, disability, hospital. They're all the same for me. 1750, 21,573, 12,800, 400,000, 38,000. Is everyone okay with keeping those the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's.
All right, so we didn't make any changes underneath this. All right, then we go down to machinery reserve, same as last year, we have $25,000. Is everyone okay keeping that the same? Okay.
Yes.
And now we go down to county sales tax. We're at 25,000. I recommend increasing that to 35,000. Based on what the county told me for sales tax. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
That's an increase, you said?
Yep, 10,000.
$10,000 increase. And then we've got, the fuel service, 677. I'd say keep that the same. And then, we've got a couple zeros for scrap surplus and refunds. And we've got sales equipment, 10,000. That's up for 2,500. That's an estimate for one of the old trucks, right?
Yeah, get rid of one of the relics and then our old tractor that's a relic out there. It's just estimated what they possibly could be worth.
So is that okay with everyone? And then chips, he's estimating 145,000 for chips. And then that's that, and then it goes down to fire department.
Why do you think you're gonna get so much less on chips next year?
I think it was the reason we got more for chips is we got the 2022 money in the beginning of 2023. So the year-to-date is higher, but it was from 2022.
Okay.
Timing. Yep, timing. Well said.
Okay. All right, so what does that put us at tax-wise?
Puts us at 20.8% decrease in the general fund and a 0.1% increase in the highway fund.
What was the percent general fund, sorry?
Negative 20.8%.
And highway as well?
0.1%, Kath.
0.1, so it's a total of what?
It's down 2.34%. Who's clicking their pen up there?
I did, I'm sorry.
Stop it.
I just did.
Steve does that up here.
He's been good, though.
Yeah, he's been good. That's why I'm like, he's still working.
She's kicking me enough times.
So what does that end up being per thousand?
Per thousand, this ends up being, it's going from $2.98 per thousand to $3.02, 3.02750.
298 to what,
298 1,000 to 3.03 basically, 3.03.
So Ingrid, does that mean that if it's minus 2.34, that would be like a zero in tax?
Say that again?
If you're minus 2.34%, does that mean that the tax, there's no increase in taxes?
That's the percentage change from, how can I say this? The 2.3%, 2.34% is the percentage change. in the total 2024 town budget. So that's changing from 2023 to this year.
What would be the change with our tax base going down $3 million?
Negative, what do you mean? We lost 1.425% in our tax base. We went from 223,205,277 to 220,023,666.
Right, but with this new figures going from our 3.37968 per thousand to what we were with the original budget, that was a 4.3% tax increase.
All right, and now our rate per thousand was 3.37968, now we're at 3.34845. So roughly 3 cents per thousand, 4 cents per thousand down. And for some reason, it's not calculating percentages over there.
One more time, you said the rate for 2024 is
3.34845.
So it's actually lower than last year's rate per thousand.
What is it?
Percent tax decrease real world. 49. We've got so it looks like we have a 2.34% tax decrease, but because of the loss in tax base, it's only a 0.93% tax decrease.
So, but if you're rushing to do a local law, that goes through the cap.
Right.
So you're good there.
I don't think. That puts us at 2020 tax rate.
What was the tax cap for this year? Did you get notified?
I have not yet, no.
I haven't got any information on that.
All right, thank you for your hard work.
You're welcome.
You did.
Nice job.
Good.
Thanks, Frank.
Everybody, good job.
Councilwoman Shane was complimenting the whole board. We did good. Are we thinking this could be the preliminary budget?
Do you guys want to vote for this to become the preliminary?
I'm fine with it, everything's fine.
I'm good with it.
You,
All right.
you?
Yes.
But you're in a public, this is the public hearing, right?
No, this is a
no.
workshop. So in our
In
meeting.
your meeting, you can make the
Right.
motion.
In the meeting. you can make
Okay,
the motion.
right.
It's a world record.
It is.
Okay, all right, I would like to make a motion to adjourn the budget workshop meeting. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Everybody? Okay, second.
Consensus.
Nice work, guys.
Nice job, guys.
Thank you, yes, thank you for everybody's.